Notes, Episode 1, Fox Calling, using manufactured mouth calls. We get a lot of questions, and what I want to do is just answer some of those questions with regards to fox calling. When do we call foxes? Why do we call foxes? What equipment do we use to call foxes? I've got here in front of me a selection of manufactured calls. We're going to do this as a series of 3. So we're going to do manufactured calls, then we're going to do improvised calls, and then we're going to use electronic callers. And we're also going to talk about what scenarios we would use each different one in. So to kick off, basically what we have here is the hare call. And if you've ever heard a hare, you will know that it sounds like a baby crying, which hopefully I'm about to demonstrate, hopefully. I would use this call all year round, but especially sort of April, May time, when all the young hares are out, so that the young hares in distress. And it goes something like this, and you need to use your hand for this as well. So you basically open up your hand to make it sound sound better and more authentic. So we just blow into it. Basically when I've had a scan around and there's nothing near, so I could then start calling foxes in from inside woods. So it's quite loud. Obviously the harder you blow, the louder it becomes, and it'll bring the foxes in from inside woods or from further afield. So that's quite a good one. It's a nice easy one to learn, and easy and simple to use. Again, it will only be effective if you've got hares in your area. If you don't have hares there, the foxes won't come. They will come because they're always curious. So this is a good one if you've got hares in your area. The second one we're going to look at is the mouser. So this is where you've got the fox that's committed, but it's not quite sure, and it's quite close to you. And all it is a little thing like so. And it's just 2 little holes, and it just basically you need to replicate the sound of a mouse. So therefore you're not going to be very loud, and it's going to be close in. You just basically blow into it using your lips. You can either suck or blow. So this is I'll blow and then suck. When you suck in, it's a bit more raspy. We're moving on to the next things. So this one here is basically Savage Island Fox Down Call. And this one here is basically a reed in the middle, and you can adjust the pitch by clamping your teeth down on the actual thing. So you can go all the way from just by biting on it, and that basically adjusts the sound. What we're trying to replicate here is a rabbit in distress. So it's short, loud screams basically. So it's and if you start sort of nibbling it, you can get the old, as if something's been bitten and ragged. Again, very, very effective, very loud, and good for calling in from further areas. So this is the best fox call. This does need some skill to use and some practice. Basically you've got 2 holes, so a smaller hole on top here and then a larger hole on the bottom. What we need to do is have the smaller hole at the top and our fingers either side of the web here, like so. We then place this just under the tip of our tongue, and we basically blow, but you need to get the right position for it to work. Again, it takes a lot of practice, and it should sound something like this. I'm getting that difference in pitch by moving my tongue, pressing my tongue in further and releasing it. Again, all I can say is you need to practice with this one. You'll either get it or you won't. Obviously I've done this for quite a while, so I can do this quite easily. They also come in basically 3D printed, plastic printed form. It's got a slight, I like the metal one because it's got a more richer tone. You'll hear the difference here. raspy, whereas this is more of a, still works, still does the same, and yeah, it just depends on what you can get your hands on, guys. That's more of a sort of whistle. Again, very good for calling foxes in from further ranges. And finally, what I'm going to look at is basically what we use for roll calling. So the cherry Hubertus, basically cherrywood caller. Obviously, little dial on the side here to adjust the pitch. So that's normally what we'd use for roll. If you screw it all the way in, you can get a higher pitch, and then we can use it similar to the same way as we use the hare call. Use our hands, and we can get it sounding more like a rabbit. Like so. Factors to consider when fox calling. One is when you're calling, obviously the sound goes 360 degrees. So if you can, get your back up against something solid so you've not got foxes sneaking up behind you. Another important factor is the wind. Make sure that the majority of ground is upwind from you if you can. And the likely areas where the foxes are going to come from is upwind. You will always get that fox that when you've started calling, then all of a sudden you look behind you and then there's a fox 10 metres behind you. It happens quite often. Downwind, and then it will just smell you and do one. But yeah, just be aware of the wind and try and keep some of as open an area as possible. The more time the quicker you can spot the fox and follow it coming into you, the easier it's going to be for you because you get more time to set up on it. And finally, how often do you call? So what I'll do is I won't call for any more than sort of 5-10 minutes in one area. So I'll go into an area, call. So I'll do intermittent calls. You don't constantly call because then the foxes it becomes numb to them. So 2 or 3 blasts, wait a minute or so. Another 3 or 4 blasts, wait a minute or so, and then just see if there's any interest. If there's no interest, it means there's no foxes around. And just do that for sort of 5-10 minutes. Any longer than that, you're only going to be able to reach a certain distance with the call. So once you're sure that nothing's running in from that sort of distance to you, then just up sticks and move position into another area if you can, ensuring that the foxes are likely to be upwind from you. Hope that helps you out, guys. Get practicing, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.